London in the 7th game of the day. And stories in each and every Premier League game today. Arsenal, 2 wins out of 2. Aubameyang with the winner to beat Burnley in the early kickoff. Bournemouth winning at newly promoted Aston Villa. They were 2-0 up in that game as well. There was also a VAR goal chalked off between Brighton and West Ham. They drew 1-1 in the end. 1-0 enough for Everton to get their first win on the board. 4 points out of 6. Bernard getting that goal at Goodison Park. Pukki got a hat-trick for Norwich. 4 goals in 2 games. The new boys off and running. Back-to-back defeats for Steve Bruce to begin life at Newcastle United. Liverpool were 2 up, and there was a very late chance for Southampton as well, but in the end Jurgen Klopp's side maintained their 100% start at St Mary's, and then all the drama we've just seen unfold at the Etihad. Tomorrow, Sheffield United play their first home game back in the top flight. Crystal Palace are the visitors to South Yorkshire, and Leicester go to Chelsea for Frank Lampard's first home game as the head coach. And Monday football for you, of course, this week as well, as Manchester United look to make it 2 wins out of 2. They go to Molineux to face Wolves. Let's get some reaction to the astonishing game we just witnessed at the Etihad from the Tottenham camp after that. Interesting macro about VAR. We talked about the City point of view, the despair. It's almost like scoring a goal for the opposing player. It's going to take some getting used to.
Yeah, it has to. I was at West Ham last week where, of course, there was lots of on the big screen. But once it was shown, it was obvious it was going to be disallowed.
Now, before the VAR, we just heard from the man, Lucas Moura there. Very modestly said, I was told to go on, jump and score. I think there's a little bit more to it than that, Tim.
Yeah, he said a prayer as he was running on as well, so he's had a little bit of help there. So, no, when the ball is actually in play, he's actually on the pitch. At 1 second and a half, maybe 2 seconds. No one actually marks him. Yeah. He gets a good leap and a fantastic header. All credit to him. Because he's coming on cold, by the way. You know, he warmed up there, you run up and down, you have a few stretches for a couple of minutes on the side. He's come on and game ready. He's game ready there. Great standing, 2 feet leap there. Beats Carl Walker, who's standing still. So he nicks in front of him, and it's a wonderful finish. Wonderful finish and a great start for him.
I mean, there's zonal marking there, aren't there? You see Manchester City in a perfect line, so nobody's, meant to be picking him up. But as Tim said, his run was brilliant, right across Kyle Walker. No one was bothered. You're probably thinking, oh, he's OK. He's not a big, tall, 6-foot strapping centre defender. He'll be all right. But his leap and his finish was brilliant.
Now, as we've mentioned, the subplot was Pep Guardiola and Sergio Aguero. I mean, you're smiling, but from a manager's point of view, what do you make of this, Tim?
Well, he's shouting to Sergio. Sergio, look, Sergio, you can clearly see he's shouting to Sergio. Now, what he's telling him is anyone's guess. I don't think he's even mentioning Lucas Moura. He's going through his preparations there, Lucas, ready to come on the pitch. He clearly wasn't happy. Now, as he comes in, we're highlighting them both there. Sergio's got no intention to mark Lucas Moura. All he's worried about is his defenders winning this ball and him counter-attacking. He has no one to mark. He takes no responsibility. He looks disappointed when the ball goes in, as anyone does. 10 minutes later, he comes off the field and this confrontation. Now, this is not friendly. This is not friendly. Sergio has something to say back to Pep there. I think that's ill-advised. I'm not sure you win anything by arguing with Pep Guardiola. So he decided it was probably best that he made up. And goals change people's thinking. So when they get the winner, what they think is a winner before it's ruled out, Pep, let me come to me, we'll have a cuddle and we'll make up. But that is a real moment there. That was a real moment. And I think they've made up in the end, and I think this is advisable to do that.
You'd never know, but I'd love to know what Manchester City's plans are at defensive corners. Because Aguero and Sterling have got no intention whatsoever of defending. They're moving away from the goal as the cross is coming in. So you wonder to yourself, why don't you stay on the halfway line, and then you will take 3 or 4 Tottenham defenders with you. You see Sterling when he comes on, and you see Aguero. Sterling's at the near post. Aguero, as you can see, is just behind him. And they mustn't have one defensive bone in their body. So you wonder to yourself, why don't you just run up the field and you'll take all these men on the edge of the area with you, because they'll be terrified. But taking a chance, and they've certainly come unstuck today because nobody picked them up.
Now, you said nobody knows what he was shouting at Sergio Aguero. After he'd gone off, the first corner, after Jesus had come on,
yes.
What did you make about the setup here?
Well, he marked for about 2 seconds. He marked Lucas Moura, and then he decided he wanted to get on the counter-attack. This is what this team is all about. there's fine details that's cost them today. They're defending. They need to defend. You need to score goals. Of course you do. You need to entertain us, and we're happy to watch it, right? They will score goals all the time. They're brilliant going forward. But the finer detail of the marking, the organisation, what has to be done in the dressing room and on the pitch is missing. And it's cost them the game today. 2 sloppy goals has cost them.
I mean, that clip's incredible, isn't it? Jesus is touch tight with Lucas Moura, literally touch tight. Once the ball arrives in the penalty area, Jesus is 15 yards away from him. It's just...
Well, is that instruction or is that just instinct?
Well, I presume it's instinct. I presume because the zonal marking, they're thinking, right, I'm on my way to score. And it would have been funny if Lucas Moura got on the end of that one, because someone would have got a berating in the dressing room afterwards. But it just must be the way Manchester City set up, because they're so offensive. They're always thinking about running 70 yards down the other end and getting a goal.
Sergio Aguero, before he was substituted, had scored, of course, but this was all about De Bruyne and perhaps what Tottenham could have done better, Tim.
Yeah, well, the first half was all about Kevin De Bruyne, picking up them areas in the corner of the right-hand side of the box there. And if you stop this now, you could see... If we highlight Harry Winks here, if you just run it forward a little bit, Steve, you see him pointing there to Sanchez. Now, Sanchez has to track the run, has to come... he has to come in here and mark and get closer to Kevin De Bruyne. Or Harry Winks has to get in there, but they just leave him free. Yeah. If you leave him this much space, he will find the pass. And that's what he did. He nicks a yard there in the middle of the goal. He bounces off Aguero's, a great touch, and he just finishes it in the goal.
Yeah, wonderful touch. It was a really nice goal, but it should have been stopped at source. Kevin De Bruyne, as we mentioned previously, last year he had an injury hit year. The year before, he's Player of the Year. He's the one you have to stop. He's the one you have to stop creating goals. He did it last week, did it in the Community Shield. Today, he's been given the freedom of the park to run into spaces, and he's looking behind. There's nobody with him. Sanchez should have come right across, got touch tight on him, and cut that ball out, cut the cross out. But they're at 6s and 7s, whether it's Vertonghen in there, who, me and Tim believe that he's the better partner for Alderweireld, whether it's Winks come in and they haven't got the communication level between them yet. But that was a mistake that they should have cut out today, Tottenham.
Is he keeping his emotions in check there for you, Michael?
I think... yes, he's very magnanimous in that, in what he's just said, because they are the rules. Everybody's been told what they're going to be. Referees have been into all the various clubs telling them the new rule changes. It happens virtually every year, and we just have to get our mind. But of course, it's very frustrating what happened last year, because from what happened last year, the rules have changed and gone against Manchester City again. So he'll feel very hard done by, and so will the fans, of course. But, they are what they are, and we just have to get on with it, unfortunately, rightly or wrongly.
Let's round it up then in the cold light day. From a Tottenham point of view, first of all, they've gone to the Etihad. They've got something on the back of last week. What does that do to that group? No matter how they've done it with VAR, and they've come from behind twice today. Well,
the bottom line is they nicked a point out of the game, not only for Tottenham, but all the teams who think that they're pretenders to the title. It's great news. For the Premier League, the Liverpools, the Man Uniteds, the Chelseas, the Arsenals, the Tottenhams, all the teams who know Man City are the best equipped side to win this title again. Any point they drop, and 2 points they drop today, is vital. For Tottenham's point of view, they got outplayed today. They will know they got outplayed today. Mauricio Pochettino is no fool, but what they showed is a lot of character. Never threw the towel in, kept going, kept grinding it out, was never in the game, but never out of the game. When you're only 1 goal behind, there's always a chance you might nick something, and that's what they've done today.
They've looked at the piece of paper at the beginning of the season. What's our hardest game of this Premier League season? It's going to the champions away from home. They've got a point out of it. Every game is easier than this game today on paper. Of course, going to Anfield, going to Arsenal is going to be a difficult game, but this on paper is the hardest one, and they've come away with it without defeat. So it's a huge bonus for them.
Gentlemen, thank you for your company as always.